this was my first big experience, right? Where I actually left this whole construct and I seen the entire universe. But I first experienced different lifetimes of mine in a place called Neo Soul. So let's get into the experience. First, I was in a dream. I gained control of myself in this dream. And then I set the intention to go back to my body so I could essentially leave my body fully and consciously and aware. I'm laying in my bed and then I feel myself floating. I feel a separation from of me to like my physical body. I literally felt myself floating up. I instantly know I'm out of my body. First thought that comes to my mind, go to the door, right? Like I'm out of here. Like let's go. I'm going to the door. So I reach for my doorknob, but just as I reach, I look back just to confirm that I'm really out. I look back to see my physical body and I see myself playing out a scene from a couple hours earlier because I used to vape. So I seen myself reaching for my vape out of my bed. That triggered me to immediately, I said, okay, I'm out of my body. I'm obviously seeing a previous time event taking place. And when I had this OBE, I set the intention to access my soul records. So I also knew, okay, I could stay here and play with my physical body, play in this time, see things in this life that I've been through. I probably could have done all of that, but I wanted nothing to do with Andre. I didn't care. I just wanted to go. I wanted to get out and see something. So next thing I open up my bedroom door, I'm out. Immediately I run down my stairs real quick, like I fly down my stairs. I come back up real quick. I'm zooming all over my house, like really quick. Boom, 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 all over the place. And then I go into the bathroom. I'm like, I want to see myself. So I look at my bathroom mirror, but I couldn't see my reflection. But instantly, the first thing in my mind was, okay, I know mirrors are portals. So I put my hand through my mirror and I instantly feel it. It's liquid. It's like liquid. It's like this dense metal material. So I was like, okay, I can go through this. This is a portal. So I step into my mirror. As I step into my mirror, I'm instantly in this vortex, this portal. There was so much energy inside this portal that I was in. I could hear, I knew I was in water, but there was a divide, water separated from the waters. And I was in between a wall of water over here, a wall of water over here, and I could hear all of this energy. And my first thought was, okay, I'm in a portal. Let me just wait and see where I transport to. So I wait and nothing happens. I'm still in the same spot. So I'm like, okay, maybe I have to move. So I touch to the left of me, it's solid. I touch to the right of me, it's solid. I touch above me, it's solid. I touch behind me, this is now solid too. And I'm standing, so I know the floor beneath me is also solid. I touch forward, it's empty. So that's the path I walk. As soon as I step out, everything lifted. All of the heaviness of my life, like everything was gone. And I see all of these big, huge buildings everywhere. There was all of these, they were so beautiful and brand new. Like the closest thing I could compare it to is like Dubai times 10. Like they were bigger, more beautiful, more clean. And I just had this feeling of bliss, like that near death experience people that you hear them talk about. Oh, there was a feeling of love and happiness and joy. I felt all of that. It was amazing. And as I'm walking in this city, just looking and just having a grand old time, I noticed I had glasses or like goggles on, and the goggles had words on them. And late in another OBE, I found out that I made those goggles for my soul as I was traveling because I've been doing this for many lifetimes. So my soul, when I exit places, it naturally has these goggles on because you don't remember where you're going at first. So I set that up for myself. So as I'm walking in this city, the goggles come off and they disappear, and then the city becomes brighter. And I'm walking, having a grand old time, and then something tells me to look to my right. Like I just had this knowing that somebody was walking with me. So I look, and it's this little Puerto Rican looking guy, very calm. And I said, "Oh, what's up, man? Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Francis." And my first reaction was, Francis, I know you. Like, bro, where have you been? Like, it's been so long. And his response was just like, yeah, you know me. But he was new to me. But to him, it's like no time has passed since we last seen each other. But to me, like, I've never seen him before in this life. And I like to think, like, if he was communicating with me in this life, I probably would think he's some angel or some magnificent being like people typically do for their spirit guides. But since I was out of my body and I could see him for myself, I know he's just a good friend of mine. Not taking anything away from him. He is an amazing person, but I am too. You are too. That's the thing. So I'm like, oh, so Francis, where am I? He goes, you're in Neo Soul. And I look to my left in the reflection in the mirror in one of the buildings, and I noticed that I'm a totally different person. I am a black man, kind of like with Nigerian type of like face template. But I also see that I can still see, I still had like the same eyes and cheekbones and facial features. So I instantly recognized myself. I said, oh, but I'm still me, but I'm a black man. And he goes, yeah, I am too. And when he said that, it didn't make sense to me because, like, I'm looking right at him. He definitely is not black. He looked Puerto Rican. But later on, I realized that he was setting me up the stage for me to go and experience another lifetime of mine where I was this black man in a place called Neo Soul. And he was also my friend in this experience, and he was also black. So that's what he meant by that. So I'm vibing, I'm loving it, and I'm like, okay, Francis. So I know I'm in this other body. I was like, so what do I do? Where do I go? Like, who am I? Right? And he tells me, he goes, okay, I'll show you. So he takes me to this house of mine. And I go, oh, so is this my house? He goes, well, really, it's not your house, it's your wife's house, because me and my wife were having issues at the time in this life. And I go in this house, and that's the last time I ever seen Francis because he was now my friend in this experience, right? So I'm in there and I open up the door, and the first thing I see is my wife. And she goes, well, you don't have to just stand there. You can give me a hug. So I give her a hug, and then I spent the next, what felt like days, maybe weeks, experiencing this other lifetime of mine. Like, I was a doctor, my wife was a doctor, we owned a rehab clinic on the side of the house, I had kids, all of these experiences, right? And then it came time for me to leave or go out of the house, and I go out of the house and it's instantly black. And then I was like, oh crap, I'm about to go back to my body. I said, no, I'm going back to Neo Soul. So I commanded to go back. And this time, as I went back, I experienced two other lifetimes of mine in Neo Soul where I had different wives, different kids, different houses, different jobs. And the whole time, all of these experiences, I experienced them as me inside of this body. It felt as if I was making, it felt almost as if I was making the choices and decisions as Andre, like as my soul. But then I realized, no, I just think the same as these other people. So of course I'm doing the same things, right? And I would also view events from as me, as the person, but I was also view events as the other person. I would also view events from nobody, just from like a third person perspective, just out there, just seeing how I acted, how the other person acted, and things like that. So it was like a real life review, but it was a life review of other lifetimes of mine. And when I went back, I spent this time, it felt like months. Like, I downloaded and seen enough of these lifetimes that I was there for like months, like a very long time. And then it was time for me to come back to my body, and I felt things change, and I felt, like my strength there and consciousness there starting to fade. And like I couldn't bring it back. Like, I was there for a long time. So, but I'm like, okay, if I really got to go back to my body now, I want to see me go back to my body. I want to experience going back to my body.
Yo, that had to be one of the most profound experiences that I've heard. Like, man's really went to Neo Soul, bro. Mans really was out here viewing his alternative lives, bro. Like, that's powerful. And like he said, when he came back, he knew that he was so much more. He knew. And dog, I got a dope ass astral projection experience as well, man. So dog, y'all get me to 100 likes on this video, dog, and I upload my astral projection experience when I was in quote unquote heaven. You see what I'm saying? When I was right next to the all or source or God, you know what I mean? To bring it back to my boy Andre, man, go subscribe to his channel. I'll definitely be watching. Thumbs up his video.
This is when I first ever experienced astral projection my entire life, when I was in 9th grade. And at the time I didn't even know what astral projection was, and at the time I just thought it was sleep paralysis and that's it, so I kind of ignored it. But now that I look back at it, I'm just like, that was astral projection. So in 9th grade, I've said this in my storytime videos in the past about sleep paralysis, I went through this phase where I had sleep paralysis all the time. And I was really depressed during that time as well. Anyways, every time I get sleep paralysis, I have a routine. So I get sleep paralysis. When it's over, I get up and I go to my sister's room. Because my sister's room, my sister lived with us at the time. At that time, my sister lived with me, and I would just go sleep with her. So I got sleep paralysis, and I tried to get up, and I went to walk to my sister's room. When I walked to my sister's room and touched the doorknob, I wake up immediately back into my bed again, still with sleep paralysis. And then I run and dip to my sister's door again, touch the doorknob, wake up back to my sister's to my room again. So it was like a repeating process, and it gets really frustrating because every time you try to make a move, you wake up back into point A again. Basically, I ended up going back at least 8 times. If you would have actually like seen the whole experience, you would see me running and then back to point A, running back to my bed again. And then finally, when I ran, touched the doorknob, it actually opened, and that's how I knew I was awake. The very minute the door actually opened and I went into her room, that was when I was like, oh, I'm actually awake this time. And that's kind of what frustrated me, because the only way I could tell if I was actually awake and in my body was when that door opened, because the rest of the times it didn't even let me. And let me tell you guys, every time I've had an out-of-body experience or sleep paralysis, it was unintentional, meaning I did not try to do it. Like, I didn't go to bed saying, oh, I'm gonna have a lucid dream tonight, or oh, I'm gonna astral project, I'm gonna try to do it. I did try to astral project, but it didn't work. Every time I've tried to do that, it just wouldn't work. But every time I have actually astral projected, it was out of the blue, and I didn't even think I was gonna do it anyway. So it's almost one of those things where I have like the natural ability to do it, but I need to figure out how to trigger it. But it's almost as if my astral body wouldn't let me reach my specific goal. Like the one story I told you about me going to my sister's room. My goal was to go to my sister's room, and it wouldn't let me. My goal this morning was to leave my bedroom because I was freaked out, but I couldn't.
It's crazy that she kept on getting pulled back to her body every time she touched the doorknob. Like, that to me is kind of crazy, bro, because why the doorknob out of all things? Why did she keep on getting reset? You know what I mean? I've been in sleep paralysis. I've had false awakenings before that make you think that you're awake and you're not awake, and bro, I've experienced it, but nothing like she's talking about. That's wild, bro. And like, all these people experiences are just opening my eyes up to the possibilities that's out there, man. And even if you have a creepy experience, that don't mean be scared. You see what I'm saying? Even if you have an experience that's not ideal, that don't mean be scared, because it's just gonna help you progress in the skill. You see what I'm saying? Just like she said, she don't know how to do exactly what she wants to do when she wants to do it. It seems like her astral body was preventing her. I'm reading this book called Psych Astral by Frank Rudolph Young. I always tell people about this book because it is one of the most phenomenal books that I've ever read. Psych Astral by Frank Rudolph Young. I got this book inside of my Discord for free if anybody want it. It's literally $1,000 for the real copy, yo. Straight up. So I just printed this shit out. But I got this book inside of my Discord for anybody that wants it, bro, for free. The link is in the description. And Psych Astral talks about how to completely control your astral body and get it under your complete domination. You know what I mean? Because just like she said, she felt like her astral body was preventing her with certain things, well, preventing her from doing certain things. And that book Psych Astral shows you how to get your astral body under your complete control. You see what I'm saying? And go God mode. So make sure y'all go and y'all subscribe, and like her video, man. Chandler, appreciate that story, yo. This next video is the video that I started when I started doing astral projection. This next video, yo, is the video that got me into the astral realm early on. That showed me how to actually leave my body early on when I first started my spiritual journey. You see what I'm saying? When I first became conscious of what I can do. You see what I'm saying? I had already astral projected, lucid dreamt, but this was me consciously trying to do it. You see what I'm saying? And these guys here at my Mind Unveiled, dog, they showed me the rope. I'm gonna link this video down. To be honest, all the videos gonna be linked.
There is a great exercise that can be done in order to strengthen these astral senses, and sometimes, by accident, you will actually project unconsciously. I wouldn't recommend exploring far at all if this happens. Just go back to your body. First, we need a pathway that we can walk down. It can be any pathway, like a route from your bed to the front door, or a pathway that you can walk down without looking like a weirdo in front of your roommate. Figure it out, but basically, you need to pick a route with multiple checkpoints or different noticeable objects. Pick 5 different objects or more that for some reason just stick out to you or would be easy to remember. Now the objective is to start walking that path and with a keen eye, remember every single detail about this experience. For now, you're just using the sense of sight, but try to recall as much as you can. Take a break and try to remember the route. If there are any areas that you can't fully remember, then go down the route and try again. With consistency and practice, there will be a time where you can easily recall this route, and you must go through and remember each of the 5 objects. It's okay if there are some missing details when it comes to the objects lying around or whatever, but make sure that the 5 objects you picked are as vibrant and detailed as possible. No missing details. Once you can clearly visualize yourself walking down this route to the destination and back to the source with all 5 objects clearly visualized, it's now time to move on to the next sense. In dreams, we mostly use sight and hearing, but there are occasions where you can feel and taste. The more senses you develop, the more real this astral experience will become for you. Sometimes, it may be difficult to imagine yourself walking realistically. You have to imagine as if you were really walking down this route physically, not just floating down the hallway. That's important to note. You must sit in a position, relax, and imagine yourself walking this route mentally after studying the route many times physically. You must feel all the same sensations of walking as you did when you walked the route physically. Try doing imaginary push-ups and try to feel the resistance of the ground and make the sensation in your imagination feel as much as it does in the physical. Test yourself by doing 20 imaginary push-ups. Seems like a joke, but most people don't have the mental patience or discipline to even complete this task. Explains why many struggle with finding any type of value from these experiences because they're just imagination, huh? Well, let's continue and find out. Now let's work with our astral hearing. For each of the 5 objects, assign a note, where if you are tone deaf, just think of a different mantra for each object. As you pass each object with your visualization, try to hear a different note for each point. If you can do this digitally, it may help you to download the sounds on your phone and play them as you pass each object. The same can be done with scent. Assign different smells to each object. One scent can be vanilla, another peppermint, rose, or even a type of perfume. What we are doing is developing our consciousness to focus on each one of our astral senses. You are actually projecting when you do this in the sense that you are in your astral body, but the majority of your consciousness still remains within your physical body. As you do these exercises, you are developing these other senses that will then allow for a full conscious projection in the future. At the beginning of this exercise, I mentioned that an accidental astral projection may occur. As you continually practice visualizing this route within your mind, there will come a time when you actually forget what you were just doing. You will merge into your visual as if it were a dream. If this happens, don't be alarmed, and I wouldn't look in a mirror as you're just a ghostly shape. If this happens, it should more be considered an etheric projection, as you're manipulating your etheric body with your astral body senses. This etheric body can actually be felt and experienced by others. If this happens to you, other clairvoyants can sense you under the right conditions. This is, at its most basic level, a simple remote viewing. Like I said before, do not go too far. Sure, maybe nothing will happen, and you'll just wake up, but most of the time, you will actually forget what happens. Meaning, if you run into something you aren't supposed to, your memory can actually be wiped. Kind of a deep topic, but yeah, just trust me. Stay in your living quarters until you have mastered the discipline and protection rituals. The final method for astral projection that will be presented may seem extremely occult for some, but to others it may shed some light. Feel free to do what you will with this information, as we all have access to the same powers, and I would never promote ignorance. This method is the method that the occultists of the past used for all sorts of magical purposes. It's not just astral projection. You can create astral entities as well, but that subject has its own depth and will be for more advanced students. This method is concealed.
It's crazy going back and rewatching this video. I haven't gotten this deep into this video in years. I think I watched it maybe fucking a year ago or something when I was showing somebody else's video, but I didn't get this deep into the video. But dude, what the fuck? I didn't even know that he was... Yo, mind unveiled, bro. You just earned some respect from me, bro. More respect than you had at first. And bro, you already had a lot of respect from me at first. But you definitely just earned some more respect from me, because I did not know that you were up on game, bro. I didn't know, bro. But appreciate you helping me out in my journey, man. And now I see, feel me? But let's get it.
In the legend of the homunculus. Many translate this alchemical legend as literally. I'm sure many of you have seen that famous Russian YouTube channel where the guy basically makes these creatures. It's completely fake, and not what the alchemist meant by the legend. The story is of creating an artificial man, or body, in which consciousness would be contained. This method is called the body of light, and it is just an extension of yourself. This final section is based on some very profound occult knowledge and practices. Hopefully by now you have noticed that this is no ordinary New Age tutorial, and we're not sitting here trying to say, here you go visualize and attract what you want in your life.
It's hilarious because he's basically telling you how to create an astral body, how to create an astral vehicle. And this is a practice that I call God walking, and God forming. So basically, you can create whatever type of body that you want to walk around in, shape shifting. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and explain it all right now, because that's a convo for a whole different video. So
No, this is a presentation that explains what the occult even is and how to use it. You are being given this knowledge by the direction of inner powers, but there will come a time when this knowledge is known by the masses. It is already occurring, and countless numbers of people are ready to learn and use these higher powers. None of this is new, but the majority of people are completely ignorant of how this inner-outer process influences our day-to-day lives. Whether you realize it or not, you are doing magic. But now you can learn to do it consciously or on purpose, giving you more power. Now the rituals from earlier are a foundation, and you must think of these skills as depending on the foundation before it. Start with the lesser banishing ritual. If you wish to have help visualizing the blue flame, take a teaspoon of whiskey, brandy, or rubbing alcohol. If necessary, place it on some fireproof material. Do this in a dark room at night. This will produce the color of the blue flame needed. Timing is very important. Like I mentioned, there is so much to cover when it comes to magic that it can be daunting to the beginner, but different hours contain different energies. Depending on the placements of the stars, different cosmic energies feed down into the physical plane. You must keep a journal to record all of your rituals. Know what sign the moon was in when performing the visual. Are your visuals clear and very easy to conceive? Or did you struggle and the visuals were blurry? Now perform the banishing ritual and clearly see the pentagrams. Again, you must evoke the spirits for each element. As you continue to connect with the elements, the more powerful the experience will become. We have already prepared with the path exercise from before, where we practice imagining our body walking down a specific route. I mentioned the imaginary push-ups, but more must be done in order to understand what it feels like to move these other bodies that you have. Nothing that you do here in the material realm is simply a physical action. Your physical actions extend through all the way to the top plane. You cannot do anything physical without doing something etheric, astral, mental, or casual. You use these planes all the time and all at once. First, start by looking at your right hand. Look at it as if you've never seen it before. Hold your right hand up before you. Turn it both ways. Move all the parts of it every way they will go and note the actions carefully. Then holding the palm up before you, move the thumb over the palm in the hand and say out loud, thumb. Then bend the finger down over the thumb palm and say first finger. Then bend the second finger, third finger, and do the same. You want to mentally state the actions that you are doing. Next, sit down in a chair, close your eyes, and see an image of your inner hands doing the same movements as the physical hands. Your inner hands should appear as gray-white shadowed transparent hands before your inner eye. You need to demand with your will the movements of this other body. It doesn't work the same way as in the physical realm. Those are automatic computations. In the astral, you don't move the same way. You move through a strong will. Have you ever had a dream where you can't run fast or your punches are extremely weak? This can happen to the beginner when first entering their astral bodies with full consciousness. It happens in OBE experiences all the time, where the individual will find it very difficult to move around the room and will continually sink to the ground. You must train the will in order to move this astral body. That's why I was suggesting imaginative push-ups, but either will do. And for now, your statements and words will represent your will. Just make statements for what you want to do. So state in your astral hearing or voice, or demand that your hand make the appropriate actions. In this case, it's just bending our astral imaginative fingers. After a good period of time of practice, after months or even less in some cases, you should be able to see another body before.
Yo, this video is too fucking good, yo. This video is too good, man. I'm not even gonna play the whole video for y'all. Bro, go Mind Unveiled. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, thumbs up the video, man. And in the comment section, man, thank him for all of his work. I believe that it's a team of them. I believe that it's him and I think his girl or his sister or something. I heard a woman's voice on there before. So, man, go on there, dog, and let them know that y'all appreciate it, because this is some beautiful information. Take this from me. This is some beautiful information. I love y'all. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video, fucking subscribe, do all that dope shit. Discord community is in the description, yo. All these videos are in the description. Make sure y'all get the Discord community, man. Get up in there, dog. We talking about astral projection. We talking about investing, because it's your birthright to be rich. It's your birthright to be wealthy. Feel me? We're talking about magic, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Creating magical entities. You see what I'm saying? A whole bunch of dope ass shit, man. And I believe that everybody should have this type of power. Real talk, because we are all gods. We all came from God. We all came from source. So everybody should have this type of power, bro. We should all be astral masters. Much love to everybody, man. Get inside the fucking Discord. Get in the Discord. Get it.